firstly, for everybody in the room really, a bit about Burton, our brand positioning, and what that means for us in terms of actually what content and engaging experiences mean for the Burton customer and how we look at developing it. And then I'll talk about sort of some of the three key areas of engaging experiences, much to what's already been touched on, and talk about that. And then we'll get into, hopefully, what is the juicy part of actually some case studies. So talk you through some examples of work we've done using the Qubit platform and tests that we believe show how enhancing the customer experience delivers the business benefit. I think what's important to say is, as head of digital, my responsibility isn't purely an e-commerce P&L. Really, it's about driving sales, loyalty, and recommendation. And we are next week launching a big program across Arcadia, which is saying that those sales, we don't care where those sales are taken. We just want them taken. So, as heads of digital, our responsibility is to drive those sales into stores, on mobiles, on tablets, wherever. That's what our remit is. Driving the loyalty, more purchases, future purchases, and driving recommendations for our brands. And for Burton, we look to achieve that through inspiring, informing our customers, and looking at what we're trying to bring to them as product. We are a product business, so inspiring, informing them about our latest product, what that means to them, what that could mean to them. And for Burton, it's about simple experiences. We'll talk some more about the target customer and why simple experiences matter. Because whilst a lot of these are very, very handsome men and not necessarily what you would necessarily bump into our stores, but it is a representation. Some of them are actually from street-style shoots we've done where we've gone out to actually photograph the best-looking of our customers, undoubtedly. But who is our target? And we are a broad church retailer. We have 300 high street branches, so we don't turn anybody away, and we have a wide cross-section. But we do have a bullseye. We refer to it as a bullseye customer, which is where our product is developed around and our proposition is developed around. He's 25 to 35-year-old male, but actually what's more important is their attitude to fashion and their attitude to what they wear. For Burton, it's not about really following fashion and adhering to trends, but it's about making sure they fit in without standing out. I guess what I mean about that is, they don't want to be the guy that goes to meet up with their mates down the pub and gets the piss taken out of them for those jeans that they're wearing. But equally, they want to fit in. They want to feel like they've got it right. They want to feel like when they're out on a date, they've got it right. They're not the first to be wearing things, but they absolutely don't want to be the last. So it's that attitude that they bring through. And also, being the older sort of market, it's about fit and quality, and we'll talk a bit more about fit and its importance to our customer. But we aren't in sort of looking at disposable fashion. When we talk to customers, there are definitely places where they go where they know they're just wearing it and they're getting rid of it. Our customer is about value within that and the quality coming through with value. And there is a smart casual look to it. We have a famous heritage in our suiting business, and it's bringing out the sort of more smart casual and how that all fits together, and adding things that are just a little bit better in terms of finishes, in terms of quality of product. That's what we look for with a value proposition. We have to be digitally channel agnostic. The majority of our sales are still taken in high street stores, and we fully expect them to be. Our number one store is our website. Our number two store is our mobile site. So those things are very important, but the majority of sales are coming through the retail channel. So making sure that this space is collaborative, I guess, and consistent in terms of an experience for the customer is very important. And also recognizing that their needs and their engagements with you as a brand, as a retailer, are going to vary dependent on the device. So where we feature content in our email, we have to make sure that we build that content out so that there's an experience on mobile, because that's where the first access of it is. And we will see our customers just drop away if we launch a feature in our email and then they get a crappy, tiny screen experience. But also, we can go into make that feature more rich on our iPad app, because there we see that there's longer dwell times. People are actually engaging in it more. So it's more like our desktop experience and not trimmed down so far. And I guess this is, the challenge between whether it be adaptive design versus responsive design and the approaches to that. And we definitely see that making the experiences collaborative, but also suiting the channel is very important. And then it's about taking that content, taking that advice into stores for our customers and for our colleagues. And absolutely, the ongoing program will be about how we can support our colleagues in store with customers who are coming in. Sometimes even, the risk is that they're coming more informed, more aware than the store colleague of what's new product, because it hits our website. They might not have seen it yet. They've seen a feature on it. They've read about it. So how do we make sure that those things absolutely join up, give our store colleagues the tools to service that, to respond to that? Creating engaging experiences. So I think there's 3 areas that I want to touch on today around that. So first being content, and content that matters. The second one being personalization. And then real-time relevance. And that's, I guess, our increasingly seeing how we can bring that to the fore. And that's the new area, which I think is going to drive customer experience, and certainly where we're looking to pursue it. So content that matters. And I think, again, when we're talking about our customer, there are any number of questions and challenges they have in terms of buying product. And the first one is, having content that helps explain. So what is the difference between a skinny fit suit, a slim fit suit, a tailored fit suit? And this is really just getting that information out to them, giving them the confidence to know what they're buying into. Because, customers are making these transitions. They realize they've had a tailored suit, and they realize that, hold on, all my friends now, they've seems to have ditched that. I need to be moving on. Where do I go? And this is this information that just gives them understanding, is it going to be right for them in a way? Gives them that confidence of going through that journey, and helps drive our customers into that switch. It's also answering the questions of, I guess, certainly when you speak to stores, when you go online, the biggest thing is, what do I wear to? I've got a wedding coming up, and our stores are full of great stories of guys coming in saying, I've got a wedding tomorrow. What should I wear? And that's probably a perfect customer, because they need you more than you need them in that way. But it is about answering this thing and putting forward the ideas of, okay, so these are the events. This is the sort of look that we would recommend. This is the sort of product we go. So it's answering those questions and building things around occasions, so content, but also building out just categories and navigations around some of these answers. Helps them get through, refine that journey for them in a way that makes sense and gives them that experience. And then there's about inspiring them with the new looks, the new product that you're bringing forward to them, giving it to them in a, I think we focus on our photography being something that focuses on the clothing. And at the moment, that's one thing that we're very, very focused on at the moment, making sure that we hero the product, we hero some of the quality and the fit elements that come through on that, not making it uber cool on a motorbike in a desert, but just focusing on that, and using this to bring forward the look for them. And those are 3 different areas, really, I think, where we approach our content, and it's about bringing all those different types of experiences to the customer. And then personalization. And I guess, the first area is the Amazon sort of staple area of personalization. It's about using that data of knowing what the customer's purchase history is, what their non-purchase history is, what customers who were looking at all this product went on to buy, bringing all that to bear in different elements on the page. So on product pages, bringing that to bear, on their emails, so that we can make recommendations that are targeted, are personal, through that journey, from email to product page to checkout. And looking at those and testing those against various different metrics, whether you're looking to add items to the basket, whether you're wanting to increase the average item value, whether you're looking to drive conversions. All of those are different metrics that you need to be looking at, testing, and understanding. And for each business, there'll be different levels of importance to those. But it's also about understanding personalization in terms of how you present content on the site. So understanding, am I looking for formal wear? Have I been coming through to your site and looking at formal wear, or have I been coming through and looking casual items, to broad splits, and you can refine that down, but then presenting them at that first thing, giving that reassurance and recommendation of, right, okay, I know you, this is what you want to be looking at, get you to those choices, get you to them quickly and seamlessly, so it makes your experience on the site that much easier and that much better. And then, I guess, as we said, the newer area, and this is real-time relevance. And I guess here there's a number of different elements, and eBay use it very well in terms of those, just adding impetus to your journey by sort of saying how many people have viewed this item. That gives you confidence that, okay, I'm in the right place. How many people have bought this item? And we use it in some of the things that we talked about there about saying, right, this is actually how many we have in stock. So actually there's that impetus to the customer experience driving the imperative. The other area, and we'll talk about our example with weather, but weather on a golf course site, I would imagine if I'm looking at going to play golf the next day, knowing what the weather's going to be like is a pretty important factor to whether I even bother going, or what I'm going to pack. And it's incredible that people don't bring this information to the front for the customer and understanding, right, what is their experience, what are they wanting to know from us, and how do we bring that? So I think real-time relevance is our newest area that we're testing, and I think it's a vital area of increasing that experience for customers and getting them to the right place. I'll talk about a couple of our case studies. The first one, weather personalization, and I guess this references sort of two of those elements in terms of personalization and real-time relevance. Your environment affects your behavior, so this is not startling insight by any stretch, and it's remarkable how we see this played out in every walk of our life, in all of our stores. It pours with rain. What do you see right as soon as you walk in the doors of your store? They've pulled the umbrella stand out from the back and they've brought it to the front, and suddenly there's that. It's a bright sunny day. Well, actually, they haven't pulled all the T-shirts to the front because that's too much. A stand of umbrellas I can do. Moving the store around to bring out all the T-shirts, I'm not going to be able to do. But that's how customers respond, and they respond very quickly to elements like that. So rarely do we put this sort of environmental real-time experience into play on our websites and this hyper-local targeting. So we sought to test what sort of experience and what engagements this would deliver, and whether it would drive sales if we put it into plan on our site. The bit with Qubit is that we can do a control test, we can split this A/B, and we can absolutely know what's happening and what's having the benefit. So we have a control element which says, whatever the weather, and so this was autumn last year, sort of key season for outerwear, whatever the weather, we've got the perfect jackets and coats, here they are, they're from 40 quid. The personalized element was then saying, you're in Surbiton, it's sunny and it's about 6 degrees at the moment. So we absolutely recommend you should get a leather jacket. Or you're in Manchester. I'm not particularly saying it's Manchester, but it generally is Manchester. It's raining. You know what? You want to be getting our Parker coats, so I'll take you straight to our Parker coats range. And that journey then flowed through. So you would see that animated device with the personalization, would take you through to the category with those recommended products, so you've got that, and then the personalization in terms of others within that product. And that's the customer experience. So the clever stuff that's happening in the background that Qubit helped manage. So we used a GeoIP lookup. They developed a weather API that was then pulling in from that what is the exact weather in the location of the customer. We then developed a matrix of content and creative against all of our different product categories. So we had about, I think we had 5 weather bands, and we had 5 weather types. We even had, I think we had one for if it was freezing cold. If it was Arctic out there, we had onesies, that was the extreme. And we had also, to make sure Australia didn't feel left out, we had one which was just T-shirts at the bottom. But, for the most part, this was a UK focus, and it was sitting in those 5 bands, putting it through these different categories. So the lookup, and that immediately served to the customer, on their desktop, the weather conditions. And it drove 11.6% increase in conversions. And that's from an identical looking device, but with that personalized element. So this is, and again, this is absolutely A/B against a group who saw a control graphic. The engagements were much higher with that personalized device, but across that whole audience, not just those who engaged, across the whole audience, we had 11.6% increase in conversion for that device. Shows you the power of really targeting that customer experience. The next area is fit. So we talked a bit about fit guides, and for our customer, this is an important area that they look for advice on. And the sort of standard maxim, I guess one of the things we're challenging here is this maxim of you don't want to disrupt the shopping journey with content. So what role does content have, which tends to be more of immersive, where somebody is actually, if they're in the product page, if they're starting to get down there, let them buy, channel them down to their choices and let them buy. Don't put content in the way. And we wanted to test that, and we have Qubit Insight on our site, so we're collecting hundreds of pieces of information from our customers every day, asking them simple things about their interactions with us on what's causing barriers to purchase. One of the frequent things that is talked about there is understanding fit and knowing what the right fit for them is. And then when we looked at the statistical data around actually people who use our guides, well, lo and behold, they have a 5 times higher conversion rate, people who engage in those fit guides, than non-visitors. So there you go, simple thing to put together to say, shit, we should put more people in front of that content, because that content works. And so we developed a little toggle widget. So you can see the sort of right-hand little box there is the opened out, but it just hovers on the category page. You can see the little black bar there. Just hovers down the page, so it's always visible there on the page whenever they're on any of our category pages. If they stay static on the page for a couple of seconds, it will just slide out with more information saying, here's our denim fit guide. If you're needing help and support in finding your fit, click here and we'll take you through, and then it slides back. If they hover over, it slides out. So unobtrusive, but they're on every page and on every denim page. And that would then go through to the denim fit guide. And this is actually, we're working on a redevelopment, but this will then take you through, okay, let me compare fits, let me understand what the differences are between these elements, so I understand, right, which is the right fit for me, and what am I going to go for. And again, it's a great result, plus 5.5% conversion. And this is being measured at everybody who lands, again, A/B, everybody who lands on the lister page. So again, it's not just the people who have engaged with the content. We knew that they have a much higher, but this is 5.5 for the whole audience. Not everybody engages with that tool, but being present, being visible, being the right content for that journey drove an uplift of 5.5% conversion. Other content that works is animals, funny animals. That works every time. So if you can't do any of the other stuff, just do that. But our recommendation is, we love the Qubit tool because we can test. The fact that we'll be able to do it even quicker, being able to deploy them very quickly to absolutely know what's happening and how your customers interact with all that content is what we've learned. It drives our customer experience. Thank you very much.